Hey everybody, it's Savage Lands News again, coming out with a new video on budget Rhinar. So this is for the new players out there. I got a couple questions about like equipment and majestics and all of that kind of stuff. So wanted to help our new community of brute players by kind of going over all of the cards in the set in the list that I use, both Blitz and CC. I have two lists here. I'll put them both in the description below. Um, and instead of just kind of posting the list and that's it, I wanted to go over each one of the cards, what it does, and what is most suitable to replace them with. And then the order in which I would acquire these cards. Um, so both lists, CC and Blitz, use claws. Very cheap. Honestly, people in your local game store will probably just give these to you. But they can be acquired real cheap. And obviously, Rhinor's a token. Just go to any store, they'll give it to you, right? Let's start with the equipment. Okay, so in my CC list, we'll actually start with my CC list in general. I run Crown of Providence, Fendals, Gambler's Gloves, Scabskins, Nullrune Gloves, and Skullhorn. These two pieces, Crown and Fendals, are generic legendaries. That means that multiple lists, multiple decks can use them. They're highly sought after, so it raises the price, unfortunately. Luckily for us, there are suitable replacements. But Crown of Providence lets you block 2. If you have a card in your arsenal, you can slide it under your deck and draw a card when you're being attacked. Very good for escaping like C&C. Very good for pulling a 5-card hand into a Blood Rush and filtering, stuff like that. But it's very replaceable. Skullhorn here, or Arcane Barrier 2 on a single piece of equipment. Very good for wizards in general. But if you don't have any wizards in your local game store, you could forego this card entirely, basically. Fendel Spring Tunic. In grindier games, this card gets more value. In short games, it's actually maybe better to replace it with another piece of equipment. And I've been looking at doing that kind of recently. But Fendel's lets you gain a few resources over the course of a long game. Very useful into Oldhim, very useful into Icelander. And it lets you do some special plays, like Pummel with a blue, or Wild Ride, pitching a blue, and following up with a hammer, right? Or club. So it is a good card, but it can be really easily replaced, and it might even be better to replace this card. We'll see. And then, lucky for us, the Brute native legendary Scabskin Leathers is one of the cheapest class legendaries, I think, in the game. So last I looked, these were like $40. Gambler's Gloves, a Majestic. Does have a little bit of a price to it. These two balance each other out. And then normally you can get super cheap. But Scabskins, thanks to the new set, has a very direct replacement now. This didn't used to be the case, but thanks to Dynasty, Beaten Trackers, this is actually a really good card for Rhinar. And it'll let you do that massive Blood Rush play, that Savage Feast play. It blocks 1, it doesn't break. It gives you the guaranteed action point after a discard of a 6. In certain matchups, these boots have proven to be even better than Scabskins sometimes. So with this budget list, Beaten Trackers, Goliath Gauntlet, get that 2 damage on your Blood Rush, big. Heart and Crossstrap and Barkbone, either one of these, but honestly, Heart and Crossstrap, don't sleep on this card. This lets you kind of do that enormous Blood Rush turn. In those more aggressive decks like Viserai, Briar, this could very well even be better than Fendal's Tunic. I don't know why I keep saying that. And then unfortunately for us, though, the helmet, we don't really have that great of a replacement yet. This one at least blocks 1, so you're going to lose 1 life compared to Crown. It doesn't let you ditch your arsenal, but it does show you if you have a 6 on top of your deck. Very good for pulping, very good for Wild Ride. So if you really think about it, that trade isn't that bad. And then if you can't afford the AB helmet, you just want AB3. Nullrune, super cheap everywhere. This just lets you have a chance against Kano and Icelander. So if I were to look at acquiring equipment, the order I would acquire them would be Scabskins, Gamblers, Crown of Providence, Fendals. Honestly, you're not going to miss Fendals until you get into the super high tiers of play where you're kind of grinding and you're going for it. So that's the order I would acquire those pieces of equipment. Okay, so down to the Majestics. I isolated Blood Rush Bellows and Swing Big because Honestly, I don't know if I'd really want to be rocking Brute without Blood Rush and without Swing Big right now. They're super cheap compared to a lot of Majestics out there. Um, I would, if you're starting your Brute journey, both Levia or Levia and Rhinar, get your Blood Rush Bellows. Get them. Swing Big come very shortly after that. Okay? It's just our best attack, and this is just our best card straight. Um, this is how we penetrate defense. This is how we keep up with aggro decks. This is how we do a lot of things. So if you're going to start your journey, get these 6 cards, and then you'll be in a really good place, okay? All right. Now, I did rank these cards in the priority in which I would get them. Unfortunately, or not that in which I'd get them, in the way I value them, at least in like highish level play. Unfortunately, Command and Conquer, it's one of the most expensive cards in the game. It does have a lot of value in us as Rhinar. It's 6 that has an on hit. On hits are very hard for brutes to come by. But I did record some videos, and I'll post them after this. You can 110% win games without Command and Conquer. Command and Conquer just helps against those those tighter matchups, right? Like Fly, Dash, Bravo, right? Is it mandatory? Absolutely not. And honestly, I didn't start with Command and Conquer. This was one of the last cards I got from my lists. So I totally understand. But the replacements I would look at is any 2 for 6. Cadaver's Contraband threatens an on-hit. It doesn't block for 3, but it threatens an on-hit. You can loop those Blood Rush Bellows over and over and over again. It does sometimes make your opponent want to block. So it is a pretty direct replacement. Smash with Big Tree. Saw this in that winning San Jose list. 2 for 7. It's good. End it with a Blood Rush Bellows turn. Then if you're feeling a little bit more aggressive, you can go with like a Wild Rider or a Pulping, right? Both of these have benefits. 6 go again. Big turns. But yeah, you're not going to miss Command and Conquer too much until you really start refining your list and getting like into those kind of high tier matches with like a Fi in general. Anyways, Reckless Swing, very cheap card. I would get this card. I win an obnoxious amount of games with Reckless Swing, like a lot of them. It is an amazing way to seal a game that's just grinding out, right? But you can definitely replace it with just about any blue. So both of these, they're blues. They do damage. They can be played on a Blood Rush. You actually saw Predatory Assault in the San Jose Calling winner list. I played Blue Smash Instincts. They're serving the same purpose. If you draw them on a Blood Rush and you didn't find that red, you still have an attack, right? Alpha Rampage. This card is really only beneficial in 3 circumstances, right? 1, when we first start the game, you're in turn 0. You draw this card. It lets you double Intim. It lets you get free damage on turn 1. 2, to close a game, right? Double Intimidate with like a barraging beatdown will make it so this 9 to 13 damage goes through no matter what. And then against super defensive decks, a lot of people have stopped running this card. I love it, but a lot of people have stopped running this card. So thanks to the new set and the last set, we actually have, or the Rhinar vs. Dory set, we actually have 2 pretty much direct replacements. Madcap Muscle, 3 for 9 with a discard. It's missing that second Intim, but it gets the job done. And then Wrecking Ball. This is a little bit more on the wild side. But it is a double Intimidate, and it's a draw discard, so you don't actually need as big of a hand to get this to go off. But they're basically pretty close to identical in this replacement here. Erase Face. This is a counter card. It only really comes in against certain decks like Viserai, Dash, Icelander. You can live without this card 100%. It's another 2 for 6 with an on-hit. It doesn't block as well as Command and Conquer, but it does have the on-hit. So it's the same package, right? Cadaver's Contraband, Swing Big, or Smash with Big Tree. Same premise. Beast Within. This one you probably won't miss if you've never had it before, right? It only triggers when it's discarded. So it's mostly useful against like Icelander for sure, right? When they make you pay or discard, you can just ditch this card, draw a card. It can get Command and Conquered out of your arsenal, drawing you a card. And then, it randomly fuels your Blood Rush. Well, not randomly, you can control it, but it fuels your Blood Rush turns, and it fuels like your Savage Feast turns, right? any yellow can basically go in, right? Like I said, you're not going to miss this card too much if you've never had it before. It's just nice to have. But any yellow will do as long as it blocks 3. It's just another card that you can attack with and pitch with, right? And then we're going to get into a little bit more of like the niche cards. That all you got really doesn't have a direct replacement. Like you could think of the other yellow D-React that you have to put in your arsenal to get full value out of. But this really only comes in for Fi. If you have no Fis in your local game store, don't need this card. Helpful for Katsu, but it's not that important. Arg Smash, another card that's literally there for one deck, and that's Dash. And then Toma Fiendal. This is like a super nice to have card. So I don't even play it most of the games. It either shows up too late, or I already broke my gambler's gloves, or I never see it, or it's just I have to block with it, right? But when this card works, it's super nice. You roll Scab Skins, you get a 4 or a 6, you play this, you have a big hand. Super nice. But do you need it? No. These can honestly all be replaced with any one of your favorite cards. You could honestly cut these straight from the list and just run it without the 80 cards, and you'd be fine in 90% of your matchups, right? So these, get them at your own leisure. If you have a lot of Fis, I would prioritize that all you got. It helps a lot. But other than that, fill these with whatever card you like. Don't run them at all. No big deal. Okay, so that's the CC list. Let's go down to Blitz. All right, so it's the same premise. What's amazing about this Blitz list is like even the fully functioning, like 100% Blitz list is still pretty cheap. But we actually are using the cheap equipment already in the main deck. So Barkbone, Goliath, Beaten Trackers, main board, no problem. Skullhorn, nice to have against Wizards. Not even necessary. You can probably still one-shot them. And then Crown, same thing as before. Replace it with a block 1. It does what it does, right? Crown, if I were to prioritize what to get, you only really have to prioritize these 2 cards. No big deal, right? Oh yeah, the AB. So if you are missing the AB helmet, you can go ahead and replace it with more Arcane Barrier or Null Rune if you want. You have 11 equipment slots. You'll notice there's not even 11 cards here. That's pretty much how important these 3 are. I don't ever replace them. So no big deal. Okay. So once again, I think Blood Rush Bellows is irreplaceable. Prioritize it. If you're really looking to run this new list in Blitz, grab 2 copies of Berserk. There is not really a card that replaces this. There's no other card in the Brute card pool like this at all. So if you really want to see those massive turns, those like OTKs, get these 4 Majestics. Just call it a day. Everything else can be replaced, but these 4 are kind of crucial, right? Swing Big. I guess I didn't put it here. Swing Big, another one of those cards. We talked about that earlier. Probably our best attack. But let's get into the rest. Savage Beatdown, 3 for 12. Yes, please. In a format where you only have 20 health and it discards twice. It's amazing. Massacre, again. This is an interesting card where when it's intimidated, or when it's discarded, it intimidates. So that means that any of your discard cards will intimidate twice. There's only 20 health in Blitz. If you intimidate twice, or 3 times with a Savage Beatdown, all of your damage is going through, and it'll probably kill them. Skullcrack, nice to have. Gives you some resources every once in a while. Pretty low on my priority list here. It's just nice. And then Alpha Rampage, I have one of. Just double and Tim can seal the game or open the game, right? So what would you replace these reds with? Honestly, any good red. I wouldn't say, I would say Savage Beatdown's pretty high on the priority list to get in Blitz. Like 3 for 12 is just so much. But, Bare Fangs is 2 for 8. Doesn't even need to be discarded. So Claw, Bare Fangs, that's a 20 damage Blood Rush. Again, in a format where you only have 20 health. Same thing, Predatory Assault, Dominate on a stick, Smash a big tree, a lot of damage, Riled Up, a lot of damage, Madcap Muscle, Wrecking Ball, more Intimidate cards, Smash Instinct, and Beast Mode. These are just big sticks that do damage, right? So yeah, that's what I would replace the list with, right? And luckily, I think this Blitz list is like super competitive even without Crown of Providence, right? And that's, you'll notice no CNCs in this list. It's just straight brute cards. Brute cards are pretty cheap. I think as soon as you cut out Crown of Providence, this list goes down to like $60. All right, so here are some games. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah. All right, so before we kick off the games, I just wanted to say one thing. I recorded these games back to back. Both my first try on both lists were victories. I normally show all of my losses. I like to be transparent, like kind of learn from everything. But I ran both lists one time. I won both games. These are good lists, so check it out. All right, so I'm pretty mad at myself here. I managed to get an amazing first game on this budget one into the mirror. But I guess I didn't set up my mic as my audio source. So I'm just gonna sit there talking to you, not realizing that you can't hear me. So I'm just gonna talk over it. But this game was, amazing because it's a mirror. So this is about as good of an example as you could possibly get. We are playing budget Rhinar into a full-grown big Rhinar, right? So here I'm sideboarding. I did play some of the Majestics, like the Beast Within, Alpha Rampage, but for the most part, I skipped everything else. No Erase Faces, no Command and Conquers. The equipment is what it is. So what I'm really trying to show here is that, like, you don't necessarily need all of those expensive cards to kind of slap face, right? And you'll see here in this game, we actually even didn't draw as well as they did. So we just outvalued them. So playing Rhinar is really all about that value, right? So even when in the mirror, when we're getting outdrawn and we're getting outpaced, we can still win. So we're going to open up this turn with a 2 blues, swing big, and a Smash Instinct red. We're going to want to put that... look at me talking to you like an idiot. We're going to put that swing big in our arsenal, right? That's our big target. You always want your biggest card in your arsenal. You want to feel with blood rushes. You want to have that turn, the ability to block 9, swing 8. So that's what we're going to do. Unfortunately, we can't dump the entire hand. I would love to get rid of all of these cards, but because we have 2 perfect 3 pitches into that Smash Instinct, we can't do it. So we're going to play Smash Instinct. We're going to have to keep that blue in our hand. And we're going to put swing big in our arsenal. So they block. You'll notice they didn't block all of it. They took 1 damage. Now, why do you think that is? It's because we hit their blocking card and they have a no block in their hand, right? So Intimidate does matter sometimes. So, like I said, putting that card in our arsenal. Gonna draw back up. We're gonna look at our hand right now, and we'll see the most fun line you can do with Beaten Trackers, or one of the most fun lines you can do with Beaten Trackers, which is Savage Feast into Beast Within, pitching a blue, drawing 2 cards. And this is when I noticed, oh hey, our equipment is going to be used next turn. We're going to block with it. We're going to block with the Alpha Rampage because it's not going to be very useful. And then Bone Vizier, interestingly enough, is going to show us if there's a 6 on top of our deck now. There's a lot of non-6s on our sideboard right now. So this is going to lower the amount of damage we'll take from Beast Within. Just another interesting use for this card, right? So yeah, blocking with our equipment. We're taking quite a bit of damage. But our play is probably going to be worth it with 2 cards, right? That means that we're probably going to be able to claw, swing big. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and play Savage Feast. We're going to pitch the blue. We're going to pop our Beaten Trackers that are currently sitting on the stack. Then Beast Within will draw us a 6 powered attack, and then the one that we revealed earlier. And then Savage Feast will draw us whatever is after that. So it's sitting on the stack for a while, probably because our opponent didn't realize that they have an instant window. They'll have one for the entire game with their chess piece. So they're going to have to get good at clicking the button. It'll take them a minute to kind of get into the swing of things. But here we go. We drew our pack. Or what is that? Pack call. And then here we're going to draw our second card off of Savage Feast. It's coming. Instant windows. There we go. And it's a blue. So our hopes and dreams have come true. This is about as good as it can get. We could have drawn like a way more aggressive card. Savage Beatdown here would have been amazing, but we don't. I didn't put that in the list. We're playing kind of like as little Majestics as possible. So 6 is going on the stack. They took it all, and for a club version to take that much damage, you know that means that they have a Go Again card or a Blood Rush in their hand. There's no way they took 6 damage with club variant unless it's good. So we're gonna claw. They took it again. We know their hand's good. We're gonna go for the full thing. Claw again. Still taking the damage. And then we're going to swing big. Right? I would like to kind of play that card, keep the swing big in for like Blood Rush, but because it took so much damage here, we're just going to make them keep taking damage or do something about it. And here's where they flexed on us a little bit here, right? With all of their really good equipment, their 5 health they just gained from their armor, and we've only been able to gain 2. So, quite a big health deficit if you think about that, but we ripped it pretty early. And like I said, here comes a Go Again card. So we knew their hand was good, right? 6 Go Again, dominate. Our best value trade here is to hopefully play the Beast within and keep that barraging in our arsenal, but we'll see what they throw at us. Savage Beatdown. That is a very good hand. That is why they took so much damage. So we're going to have to block. We don't want to take all of it. This is where the equipment kind of is showing a little bit, right? We're losing by a tiny amount. And that's only because of their refrigerator that we didn't have. I misclicked that card. We want to play Beast within here. Do 6. Keep the pressure up. Keep a little bit of tempo. That's not the best arsenal target. We can't get it out with our current equipment. So we're going to play it, and we're going to hope we draw something better. But you'll see that I was looking at it. 2 Pulpings played already. That means that our D-Reacts in our deck are losing their value slowly but surely, right? D-Reacts are really good for stopping Pulping. They're also good for stopping the barraging beatdowns, which is what we would use them for also. But, he had a really good start. That's a lot of tempo for a club version of Rhinar already, right? Getting a Savage Beatdown off turn 2, 2 turns in a row of pulping damage. And look at the score, right? We're valuing our hand. We're playing the most we can. We're blocking as efficiently as we can. And it's paying off, right? We're actually ahead. So here comes the swing big. We're going to go ahead and block 6, retaliate with the Smash with Big Tree for 2 for 7. We're going to get rid of, the 2 cards on the left because Reckless Swing is like not blockable in this situation, right? We don't want to lose value on our Reckless Swing. And then boom, we get pummeled. So our decision was made for us here. I'm not going to be able to keep one of these cards, so I'm just going to Reckless Swing back. So if you think about this, this is really interesting. We won this trade by 1 health. We're going to take 1, and they took 2. So we're continuing to win. Our turn is going to be empty. And, that's not the best situation. But, if we take it turn by turn, we have won this trade. We're not getting anything discarded. We did more damage than they did. Let's just soft reset. Pass and draw. All right. So, again, they Blood Rush us, right? So they're drawing better than us. They are absolutely drawing so much better than us. And we get double intimed here. So here's what we're going to hope for, is that they don't have a Go Again card and their Scabskins whiff, right? That's what we're hoping for. Here it comes. Boom. They didn't crack their Gamblers Gloves. They don't want to risk losing their Blood Rush turn. So because they did that, we know a non-Go Again card is in their hand. So we're going to block 6 of 8. We just took 2 damage on a Blood Rush turn. Beautiful. All right, so we're forced with a weird decision here. Do we do nothing? Do we claw? Or do we pop our cross strap on a card that isn't really that valuable? Because you'll see here that there's nothing in our graveyard that we want on top of our deck. I'm going to go with pressure, right? So we're going to play that 2-cost attack for free, something you cannot do with Tunic, by the way. We're going to keep the pressure up. We're going to swing 6 damage back, and we're going to put a red barraging in our arsenal. Red barraging has the ability to close this 14 health deficit here really quickly, right? So amazing. We're gonna try and close this game out, survive one more turn, and they're taking the damage. So they're going down to 8. Red barraging here in our arsenal is a game winner. I get a little tripped up here because I really don't want to put either of these cards on top of my deck. Then I realize I can just click end turn. Cool. All right, so we're super close to victory here, right? We're like an intimidate away. So another go again card. This guy's drawn hot. Blood Rush before us. 3 go again cards in a row. It's rough, and we have a non-block in our hand. Not the best. So we're gonna block. We're gonna want to try and swing with Big Tree into them with our Reckless Swing. But you know it doesn't always work out, right? Okay, pop in their chess piece. Here comes the pain train. Right? They get a 3. They only get that 1 resource. That's probably all they needed. Most of their cards cost 3. Ooh, right? Sadness intensifies. They're just drawing what they need. They're hitting what they need. It's rough. So the game is now, so we're slightly behind. Not great. So what are we going to do here? We're going to force a block. Okay, we're going to barraging, and we're going to play that card. They can't take 11, so we're going to force 2 cards out of their hand. And we got 2 pummels on the chain, so they're leaking damage. And that means that whatever we intimidated, probably good. Intimidate's good, everybody. Don't worry about it. And here comes the world's worst Blood Rush turn. So we need to kill them. Really bad Blood Rush turn. 2 D-reacts, 1 6. We can't even, because of the Intimidate. Again, Intimidate is so good, everybody. We can't get rid of we can't sink the other Fate Foreseen. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hope and pray. We're going to block with Sink Below. We're going to leak some damage. We're going to play our Blood Rush, pitching a red, our least favorite thing in the world. And then we're going to see what we get off the top. Ooh. So not enough to claw. We're going to swing big here, and we're going to Intimidate. Again, hope to have a non-block in their hand, and we're going to pop Goliath Gauntlet. Even if they don't have a non-block in their hand, you know, it'll might kill them as long as they could have a D-react and then they'll live. But if you think about it, it's a lot of damage. It's a 12 damage swing big, and then 16 if they have a non-block. So unless they have a D-react here, we're going to close the game. And we're gonna not only close the game, but we're gonna have done it with a budget Rhinar list. Yeah, see, looks like your helmet isn't gonna work here. Intimidate coming in beautifully. Yeah, closing that game. Look at that. You can play budget Rhinar and win, everybody. It is that easy. All right, everybody. We're going for that budget Blitz deck. This time my audio will work, I hope. I didn't test. So in here you're going to see Beast Within Massacres and Savage Beatdowns and the Skull Cracks. I didn't really cut anything out of this one. Most of these Majestics are super cheap, but we're not playing any Command and Conquerors. Any card over like $10. So, and it's against Briar. This is an aggressive deck, so let's see how much our helmet, you know, really hurts us. I'm hoping not too much, right? They're going to open up. We have the ability to do a pretty funny trade here, right? If they attack us enough times, so give it go again, we might be able to Reckless Swing them, which is hilarious. It's always my favorite thing to do. I don't know about popping equipment early. It's not really worth. They have a lot of block here. That's a couple $100 worth of equipment right there. We'll take the 1 damage, I guess. Might regret this. And yeah, see embodiment, I shouldn't have done it. And yeah, rough. Okay. See what we draw. We're gonna put the swing big in our arsenal. And I'm just gonna try and force them to block. They might not do it, but at least they'll take 8 if they don't, right? So intimidate, massacre, come in for 8 damage. I'm gonna guess they're gonna block this. If they don't, we'll probably kill them on our next turn. Okay, so they're flexing on us. Look at that. Look at that. Several $100s of equipment blocking our little 8 damage. They're gonna filter their arsenal. We'll see. No? Yeah, they did. They filtered their hand. Okay. So now what we have to do is survive next turn. Basically. That's what we have to do. Let's go put this in our arsenal. Hmm. What can we do with this? Electrify. What can we do with this? I mean, we can go for the Alpha Rampage, right? Intimidate this, but that's not that good. 9 damage. Bleh. Um, we can go for Wild Ride, Pitch of Blue, and then block with this blue probably. Maybe what we do. Crack this, cracker, whatever. Explosive Growth. They're dealing Arcane to me. They will. They're going to deal Arcane. We have to figure out a way to threaten 12 plus damage. So I'm going to go with Wild Ride into Swing Big as my hope and dream here. This is the kind of turn where having our helmet to filter this blue away would have been like premium, but we can't do that. Looks like they're not making a quicken or a lightning token. So this is going to come in for. Oh, they have to Spellbound Creepers. This is what they're going to do. It's probably going to be a buff, right? It's probably going to be a buff here. We're at 17 to 17. No? Really? Interesting. Interesting turn. I'm surprised. We still have our equipment, so let's just see what happens. No, we're not going to break them here. We're going to come in for 6, and then we're going to come in for 8. We could be really greedy and go and try and get a 2, but I'm not going to do that, right? They're going to take 6. They're going to go 11. They're in kill territory already, right? Like, look at, they're in kill territory. So we're 1 away from killing them if they don't block. So, yeah, haven't even done anything yet. Well, they don't get a quicken token, so they're going to take 2, give me their whole hand. We still have our boots, we still have our helmet. Ooh, this is so close to greatness again. How greedy can we be here? If I pitch this, pitch that, do that, maybe draw a card. Or do we go for like a longer? These are all. Look at us. Look at that 3 block. Perfect. They didn't play a non-attack. They can't get that. I'm thinking we go for it. Why not? Let's keep that pressure up. Well, no. Berserk will trigger. Yeah, we're gonna. Let's see before we crack our boots if we get 2 here. Oh, yes, we are gonna crack our boots. All right, so that's an interesting interaction, right? Because it went on the stack Berserk, we get to see what we drew, and then I could layer my bark bone strapping on top of that. Really good tech. Keep that in mind for your future games. So this is going to come in for 7. And then we're going to come in for 8. This is a lot of damage. Like, here goes our whole hand again. Right? This Blitz deck is amazing. 5. 6. Still going to die. Gotta give me those. Yep. Going down the 1. So the game plan now, right? We got all their cards again. We know what we have to do. We don't have to really do anything, right? We can just wait until we have a reckless swing. But we're just going to keep attacking. There's nothing they can really do about it. We'll block the Savage Beatdown. We're going to come in here, discard that. Hopefully. It won't really do anything. Then we'll draw a card. If we discard the Skullcrack, then we can claw at least, and we're going to continue putting our pressure up. So block. Look at this life lead. Lightning press it. Ouch. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do this. Oh, we hit it. Look at that. 9 more damage coming their way. 9 more damage on a 3-card hand. So that's 12, if you count what we blocked with. And we're intimidating 1. So whatever this card is, it better be good. It better be a 0-cost card, because we're going to claw. Right? Claw. Keep that pressure up. Don't let them keep cards. No, nothing they can really do about it. Embodiment saved their life there. And we win. Super easy. Good game, right? Do you need equipment with this version? No. Do you need Command and Conquers? Absolutely not. Erase phases? Nope. You just need your cheap root cards. Yeah,